Hi everyone, my name is Sam Rajwani. I'm a current junior at Shrewsbury High School. Recently I started my civic action project about water fluoridation, and as you can see from me standing here, it's gotten a bit out of hand. Next slide, please. So I'm here to briefly share with you all some things I've learned about water fluoridation on the local, national, and international levels that I feel are pretty important for everyone to know. Next slide, please. So before I start off, I'll admit that I've done a lot of research about this, so much in fact that I'm pretty sure that you guys want to say that the Board of Health, not the Board of Selectmen, oversees water fluoridation in our town. Next slide, please. And for most towns, that's 100% right, but the town of Shrewsbury is actually an exception. In our case, the upward adjustment of fluoride was ordered by Shrewsbury's town meeting in 1952, when $4,000 was appropriated to the Board of Selectmen so that they could manage the addition of sodium fluoride to the water supply. Because the original decision to fluoridate Shrewsbury water was made during a Shrewsbury town meeting, the Board of Health doesn't actually have the oversight responsibility for fluoride in Shrewsbury's water supply. Rather, the Board of Selectmen, who are also the water commissioners, do. And so the main reason that I'm here today is just to talk about some of what I feel are the problems with water fluoridation. So number one is dental fluorosis, which is a very common condition that's primarily seen in children, and it ranges in severity from pretty mild to severe. In 2010, about 41% of children ages 12 to 15 had dental fluorosis. It's permanent, and the damage that it does to enamel cannot be reversed. It is mostly cosmetic, although some studies have been done that link dental fluorosis in children in some communities to skeletal fluorosis in older people. Dental fluorosis, although cosmetic, does show that fluoride causes tissue damage. And next, lower IQs. There was a meta-analysis done in 2012 by Philippe Grandjean and Anna Choi at the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health that associated water fluoridation with lower IQ scores. In the compilation of 27 studies, 8,000 school-aged children were analyzed, and all but one study found that higher fluoride content in water could negatively affect cognitive development. I believe in higher fluoridated areas, children had IQ, scored about 7 points lower on IQ tests than those in lower fluoridated areas. And there's also a literature review published by the National Library of Medicine that states that fluoride may act as a neurotoxicant during developmental periods. And third, neurobehavioral problems. There was a study done by the Keck School of Medicine of USC that shows that a 0.68 milligram per liter increase in fluoride exposure for pregnant women is associated with nearly double the likelihood of these women's children showing neurobehavioral problems and internalizing symptoms such as emotional reactivity, anxiety, and somatic complaints. Notably, the women in these studies were exposed to fluoride levels that were no higher than what women living in fluoridated regions of the United States like Shrewsbury would be exposed to. And the fourth reason, to me, is perhaps the most important, which is that fluoride in the water is an unregulated resource. So a small child could drink 8 glasses of water a day, and they would already be exceeding the upper limit of fluoride that they're supposed to get according to the National Institute of Health. And this doesn't even factor in if a child was eating a food such as macaroni and cheese, in which macaroni was boiled in Shrewsbury water. And 8-year-old children, by these same standards, could be getting more than the upper amount of fluoride, even if they just drink 8 glasses of Shrewsbury water and accidentally swallow a quarter teaspoon of toothpaste. And of course, even if this won't happen to most kids, it's still problematic because it could happen to any kid and bring with it a slew of health problems, including the ones I, of course, have listed, as well as potential hindrances to the pineal glands, thyroid function, and bone damage. Of course, the benefits of water fluoridation, the benefit is that it's proven to prevent tooth decay. That's pretty well known. And I at least thought that that was definitely the case when I went in and starting this project, although I am now a little less sure. I'm wondering if it really does prevent tooth decay, and there's a statistic. This graph, of course, shows data collected by the World Health Organization about the average amount of decayed, missing, and filled teeth in 12-year-old children from different countries. As you can see from this graph, as time has gone on, the amount of decayed, missing, and filled teeth in children has shown that it doesn't really vary much between fluoridated nations and non-fluoridated ones. In fact, some non-fluoridated nations actually have lower averages. And on top of this, there have been studies done, including one by Kate Featherstone in 1988, that shows that fluoride provides its benefits mainly when it is being topically exposed to teeth, such as when you would brush them with toothpaste. Like, after all, if you're not supposed to swallow toothpaste because of the fluoride in it, why would we swallow water that contains fluoride? And also, there was a study of over 39,000 children done by the National Institute of Dental Research's, one of the largest studies done. And in 1989, it showed little difference in tooth decay rate among children in fluoridated and non-fluoridated areas. And also, the studies that launched fluoridation, which were done between 1945 and 1955, were, according to a statistician from the University of California at Davis, rich in fallacies, improper design, invalid use of statistical methods, omissions of contrary data, and just plain muddle-headedness and hebetude. And full transparency, I actually don't know what those last couple of words mean, but I don't think they're good. And so the reason that I'm bringing this all up is, of course, because I think that water fluoridation could be dangerous, especially to young children. All of the studies that I've referenced in this slideshow show the effects of fluoride purely on younger children. I didn't even consult any animal studies. What I'm showing you is purely the effects that fluoride has on developing children. As such, I think that it would be helpful for the Board of Selectmen to revisit the addition of fluoride to town drinking water, or at the very least, add a warning to Shrewsbury's annual drinking water quality report in order to educate people and hopefully protect pregnant women and young children from some of the consequences of water fluoridation. Here's my works cited page. Do you guys have any questions?
Board members, typically for public comment, we are here to listen. I understand this is a civic action project for a class at school, is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. So, understanding that this is a learning experience, right? Like, if there are any comments that anyone would like to make, I will open it up to board members.
No pressure.
I have a comment.
Go ahead.
Sam, just want to thank you for being here. It's not easy to study a problem, study a challenge, and come up with a solution. And I think that this is evidence that you've done some work in this. And so really just appreciate you coming here and presenting, making your case to us. It's not an easy task, so I commend you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, Sam, I'd say similarly, I appreciate you coming in because it isn't easy to come in front of a crowd and go through this. But maybe just a couple questions. Like, how many other communities in Massachusetts fluorinate versus do not?
I couldn't give you an exact number. I know I've looked at it, but it's pretty, like Worcester I know doesn't, Boylston doesn't. It's kind of, I don't want to say it's 50-50 because I'm not entirely sure, but there's definitely a hearty amount of fluoridated and non-fluoridated communities in Massachusetts.
And you have any idea, like, what was the reasons why either they stopped or was some of them, did they never add fluoride to the water? Do you know?
So I know for Worcester, I'm pretty sure the water, it hasn't been fluoridated for a while. I honestly don't know exactly why they stopped, but I know that it's difficult, sort of. It is like a town decision for them, I think.
Okay. I think that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming in and speaking with us and for your presentation. You did a really, really nice job putting that together, and I appreciate your comments.
Thank you. Sorry, I just had one last question. Would you consider having like a public hearing on the issue to hear from the residents and see if that's if they would want fluoride in the water?
So I know that we have, as water commissioners, a responsibility for rate setting and also for the maintenance of the water system infrastructure. But it is my understanding, as I know you pointed out in your presentation, that the public hearing process for fluoride removal would be through the Board of Health. Of course, I could turn it over to you. I've been through this once as a select board member and once as a town meeting member. So I know many on this board have not participated in the fluoride discussion as select board members, but perhaps as town meeting members. Did you have anything you wanted to add on that?
No, just affirm that the process for removal of fluoride from the water is through the Board of Health.
Okay, I I didn't know that. I don't know why I thought it was because of the fact that it happened, that it was appropriated during, like the money was appropriated during a town meeting, that it was the Board of Selectmen's responsibility. I don't know. That's just what I found, but
No, understood, yep.
Thank you. I know it can be challenging to sort of trace who ultimately has the authority to either add or remove, but it does fall firmly with the Board of Health. And I think they've just started a public comment. I think I saw it their last meeting, right? They have a public comment period, not useful for you right now because you're in school at 8 o'clock in the morning when they meet, but perhaps in the summer, if that's something you'd be interested in doing. Is there a process? Is it on the website?
It's the same, yeah.
It's the same as this? Okay, so you would just need to, notify the chair of the Board of Health that you'd like to come in and speak, and perhaps you can tweak this presentation, for the Board of Health, and I'm sure that they would be willing to hear you.
yeah, maybe. I saw actually something, sorry, I don't know, this is definitely more
fine.
than 5 minutes, but I saw something in some sort of, I think it was this source. It was in I think it was something the Board of Health said in 2016 where they said that it was something that sort of the Shrewsbury public and more like town meeting dealt with. I don't know. I got that from the Board of Health.
So in 2016, I
share.
believe it did not, the citizens petition article, and again, I was a town meeting member in 2016 and not a select board member, but I do believe it went to town meeting in 2016 and did not pass.
Of course.
So it stopped there. Do you?
It was also, it went to town meeting, I believe in 2021. We were in the high school, it was during like sort of the
the one where
height
it
of the
got pulled?
pandemic. We were in, I just remember we were in the high school, like sitting in desks in the field house. And so it was a town meeting article, a few years back, but it is, it can go through, I think it can go through, town meeting would be ultimately the ones that would make the decision, and then I believe that it would go.
Lies with the Board of Health.
So it could, yeah, so they could, I'm sorry, you're right, it's like it was
It's pretty complicated how the
Yeah.
general laws played out from 1952. Then there was a referendum process that was established in 1958, which was ultimately rescinded. But it lies within Chapter 111, Section 8C of the general laws. That's where the process sits. You do also have to consider the home rule charter of Massachusetts municipalities when taking this in, and how that interacts with existing state laws. So, it is complicated, and I also applaud you for the work that you've done, and regardless of, let's define the process if, this is a conversation that the community wants to have, and we can work through it.
It would be a Board of Health thing, is what I'm hearing?
Correct.
Okay. Okay,
Thank you.
I think that's all then.
Okay, thank you very much for
Thank
your
you.
presentation.
Thank you.